I'm live. Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunshiny day. Oh, got into the 60s. Snow is just, thank God. I'm so sick of that snow. Everybody says that last 10 inches just did us all in psychologically. On the river, though, oh boy, we have activity. DNR, they're counting our fish, and they got gill nets set up. And they go there every day and they get all the fish out of the net. Some of them are big. They're really putting up a fight. And then they measure them. They have a big tub in the boat and weigh them, they identify them, and they're just keeping track and trying to see how productive all the sloughs are for fish and the types of species and things like that. And I asked them the first day I saw them, who are you? Are you the university or are you the DNR? And they said, well, we're the DNR. And well, you know me, I have to be a snot. I said, where's your numbers on your boat? Because no numbers on the boat, no registration, and they had a motor. I don't care. We got to do it. You got to do it. That's the way I work. And so, I called the DNR to confirm that this is legit. If it's not legit, someone with gill nets is, on our slough. And they said it was legit, and they would talk to them about not having registration or numbers. Well, the next day, today, they come up, it's registration. They got a registration sticker, no numbers. Again, no numbers. The law is 2 inches, and on both sides, And when I said to them, "Where's your numbers?" They said, "Oh, they're on the other side. You can't see them." Well, I took plenty of pictures of those guys with their no numbers on either side. They think we're stupid. They think they're so much smarter than us, and we're all so stupid. 15, the tenderness of God. When you wonder if God cares, I sure hope so. And scripture today, John 2, verse 10, is what he wants us to, in particular, pay attention to. But the whole thing is John 2, verse 1 through 11. 2 days later, there was a wedding in the town of Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his followers were also invited to the wedding. When all the wine was gone, oh, heaven forbid, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no more wine." Jesus answered, "Dear woman, why come to me? My time has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you to do." In that place, there were 6 stone water jars that the Jews used in their washing ceremony. Each jar held about 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled the jars to the top. Then he said to them, "Now take some out and give it to the master of the feast." So they took the water to the master. When he tasted it, the water had become wine. He did not know where the wine came from, but the servants who had brought the water knew. The master of the wedding called the bridegroom and said to him, "People always serve the best wine first. Later, after the guests have been drinking a while, they serve the cheaper wine, but you have saved the best wine till now." So in Cana of Galilee, Jesus did his first miracle. There he showed his glory, and his followers believed in him. And the verse 10, that he wants us to concentrate on, it says, "People always serve the best wine first. Later, after the guests have been drinking a while, and they're too drunk to notice any difference, they serve the cheaper wine. But you have saved the best wine until now." Let's pretend you're an angel. Oh boy, that might be hard. That may be a stretch for some of you, but let's give it a try. Max, it's like me reading right through these pages. Oh my goodness. You are an angel in the era before the Messiah. God has not yet come to the earth, but he soon will. And that's where you come in. You receive notice that you've been given a special assignment, a once in an eternity opportunity. You've been asked to serve on a special committee. Quite an honor, don't you think? I'd probably say, isn't there someone else more qualified? Michael chairs the heavenly task force. Let's begin by choosing the first miracle. He states, the first miracle is crucial. It's the lead-off proclamation. It's the vanguard demonstration. It must be chosen carefully. Must be powerful, someone volunteers. Undeniable. Unforgettable, chimes a third. We are in agreement then, affirms Michael. First miracle of God on earth must have clout. Any ideas? Angelic creativity began to whir. I didn't know that angels were given any gift of creativity. I thought man was, but not the angels. But we'll just let that go for now, Max. Have him raise a person from the dead or a whole cemetery from the dead. Yeah, vacate the place. I do like how these angels think. What about feeding every hungry person one meal? Too easy. How about removing all the disease from the planet? Bingo! I like that idea. We all like that idea. I know the voice is yours. All the other angels turn to look at you. What if he rids the earth of all evil? I mean, with one great swoop, all the bad is gone and just the good remains. The group is silent. Not bad, says one. Good thinking, says another. Get it done once and for all, agrees Michael. It's settled. The first miracle will obliterate evil from the earth. Wings rustle with approval. You smile with pride. You might get a promotion out of this. Now let's move on to the second miracle. Sound far-fetched? Maybe, but the story is not without a couple of threads of truth. One is that Jesus did have a plan. You can tell by some phrases he used. The right time for me has not yet come. The time has come for the Son of Man to receive his glory. The chosen time is near. The time has come for the Son of Man to be handed over to sinful people. He looked toward heaven and prayed, Father, the time has come. All of these are John 7, verse 6, John 12, verse 23, Matt 26, verse 18, Mark 14, verse 41, and John 17, verse 1. Look at those words. The right time has not yet come. The time has come. The chosen time. The time has come. What do those phrases imply? A schedule. They represent a definite order of events and a plan that is probably more closer to God's than the angels. The mission of Christ was planned. I doubt if a committee ever existed, but a plan did. There's a second shred of truth in my little scenario. Not only was there a plan in Christ's ministry, there was also a first miracle. What was it? The plot is almost too simple. Jesus and his disciples are at a wedding. The host runs out of wine. All the stores are closed, so Jesus, at his mother's urging, transforms 6 jugs of water into 6 jugs of wine. And, as big as those jugs were, they looked like they would hold like 5 gallons. I'm sure that's just about what it was, too. That's it. That's the leadoff hitter. Pretty low-key, don't you think? Certainly doesn't have the punch of calling a person from the dead or the flair of straightening a crippled leg. Or does it? Maybe there's more to this than we think. You see, a wedding in the day of Christ was no small event. It usually began with a sundown ceremony at the synagogue. People would then leave the synagogue and begin a long candlelight procession through the city. Oh, what fun! Winding their way through the soft evening sunlight of the city streets, compared to when Don and I got married and we rode around in a car with beer cans clinking around on the back and rocks and hubcaps. The couple would be escorted past as many homes as possible so everyone could wish them well. After the processional, however, the couple didn't go on a honeymoon. The honeymoon was brought to them. They would go home to a party. For several days, there would be gift-giving, speech-making, food-eating, and you guessed it, wine drinking. For several days? Those 6 jugs better have been 5 gallons each. Yikes! Food and wine were taken very seriously. The host honored the guests by keeping their plates full and their cups overflowing. It was considered an insult to the guest if the host ran out of food or wine. Oh my Lord, I would not have to prepare for that. I would not want to do that. All I can feel is sore feet. Hospitality at a wedding was a sacred duty. So serious were these social customs that, if they were not observed, lawsuits could be brought by the injured parties. Without wine, said the rabbis, there is no joy. Wine was crucial, not for drunkenness, which was considered a disgrace, but for what it demonstrated. The presence of wine stated that this was a special day and that all the guests were special guests. The absence of wine, then, was a social embarrassment. Mary, the mother of Jesus, is one of the first to notice that the wine has run out. She goes to her son and points out the problem. They have no more wine. Jesus responds, Dear woman, why come to me? My time has not yet come. There are those words again, my time. Jesus is aware of the plan. He has a place and a time for his first miracle, and this isn't it. But now the angelic committee on the miracles of the Messiah let out a collective sigh of relief. Whew. For a minute there, I thought he was going to blow it. Me too. Can you imagine Jesus inaugurating his ministry with a water to wine miracle? That's it, Jesus. Say no, stick to the plan. Jesus knows the plan. At first it appears he is going to stay with it. But as he hears his mother and looks into the face of the wedding party, he reconsiders. The significance of the plan is slowly eclipsed by his concern for the people. Timing is important, but people are more so. As a result, he changes his plan to meet the needs of some friends. Incredible! The schedule of heaven is altered to some friends, so some friends will not be embarrassed. The inaugural miracle is motivated not by tragedy or famine or moral collapse, but by concern for friends who are in a bind. Now, if you're an angel on the committee of messianic miracles, no, I'm not. You don't like that one bit. No, sir. You don't like this move on the part of Jesus. Everything about it is wrong. Wrong time, wrong place, wrong miracle. Come on, Jesus, remember the schedule. You urge, remember the strategy. This isn't the way we had it planned. No, if you're an angel on the committee, you don't like this move. But if you're a human who has ever been embarrassed, you like this very much. Why? Because this miracle tells you that what matters to you matters to God. You probably think that's true when it comes to the big stuff, when it comes to the major league difficulties like death, disease, sin, and disaster. You know that God cares. But what about the smaller things? What about grouchy bosses or flat tires or lost dogs? What about broken dishes, late flights, toothaches, or crashed hard disks? Do these matter to God? I mean, he's got a universe to run. He's got the planets to keep balanced and presidents and kings to watch over. That's a big job, especially today. He's got wars to worry with and famines to fix. Who am I to tell him about my ingrown toenail? I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you who you are. In fact, let me proclaim who you are. I love these next words. You are an heir of God and a co-heir with Christ. Romans 8, verse 17. You are eternal like an angel. Luke 20, verse 36. You have a crown that will last forever. 1 Corinthians 9, verse 25. You are a holy priest. 1 Peter's 2, verse 5. A treasured possession. Exodus 19, verse 5. You were chosen before the creation of the world. Ephesians 1, verse 4. You are destined for praise, fame, and honor, and you will be a holy people to the Lord your God. Deuteronomy 26, verse 19. But more than any of the above, more significant than any title or position is the simple fact that you are God's child. The Father has loved us so much that we are called children of God, and we really are his children. First John 1, verse 3, verse 1. I love that last phrase. We really are his children. It's as if John knew some of us would shake our head and say, "Oh, not me. Mother Teresa, maybe. Billy Graham, all right, but not me." If those are your feelings, John added that phrase for you. We really are his children as a result. If something is important to you, it's important to God. If you are a parent, you know that. Imagine if you noticed an infected sore on the hand of your 5-year-old son, or your 25-year-old son, or your 45-year-old son. You'd ask him, "What's wrong?" And say, and he says that he has a splinter. You ask him, "When did it happen?" He says, "Last week." You ask him, "Why didn't he tell you?" And he says, "I didn't want to bother you. I knew you had all those things to do, running the household and all. I didn't want to get in your way." Get in my way? Get in my way? I'm your dad. You're my son. My job is to help. I hurt when you hurt. I have a perfect example of this on videotape. My 8-year-old daughter Jenna sang a solo at an appreciation banquet. I agreed to stay home with our other 2 daughters if my wife would film the performance. When they came home, they had quite a story to tell and quite a tape to show. Jenna forgot her lines. As she stood on stage in front of a large audience, her mind went blank. Since Denelin was filming the moment, I saw the crisis through her eyes, the eyes of a mom. You can tell Denelin is getting nervous the minute Jenna is getting forgetful. The camera begins to shake. "It's okay, Denelin's voice assures. She begins singing the words so Jenna will remember. But it's too late. Jenna says, "I'm sorry," to the audience. Bursts into tears. Ellie, shh, and bolts off the stage. I think Don's open. I gotta go. At this point, Mom drops the camera and runs after Jenna. The camera records the floor and Denelin's voice saying, "Come here, honey." Why did Denelin do that? Why did she drop everything and run after her daughter? By the way Jenna recovered, Denelin dried her tears. The 2 rehearsed the lyrics. "I'm almost done." And Jenna sang and received a loud ovation. Now, why did Denelin go to all that trouble? In the great scheme of things, does a social embarrassment matter that much? You know the answer before I tell you. To an 8-year-old girl, it's crucial. And because it was important to Jenna, it was important to Mom. And because you are God's child, if it's important to you, it's important to God. Why did Jesus change the water to wine? To impress the crowd? No. They didn't even know who did it. To get the wedding master's attention? No, he thought the groom was being generous. Why did Jesus do it? What motivated his first miracle? Some people knew who did it. Those servants who brought him the water. His friends were embarrassed. What bothered them bothered him. If it hurt the child, it hurts the father. So go ahead, tell God what hurts. Talk to him. He won't turn you away. He won't think it silly, for our high priest is able to understand our weaknesses. When we lived on earth, he was tempted in every way that we are, but he did not sin. Let us then feel very sure that we can come before God's throne where there is grace. Hebrews 4, verse 15 through 16. Emphasis added. Does God care about the little things in our lives? You better believe it. If it matters to you, it matters to him. Okay, my ride wants me to go.
You're kidding me. Seriously?
Ending the stream.
Oh my God. Mary,
What time is it? It's not even
I don't care.
6:30.